now recording. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our first monthly update that's live, and also welcome everybody watching this on YouTube after this recording. So, what I'm going to do first is jump right into it. First, I'm going to talk about the product updates, what the developers have been working hard at and pushing out, and then I'll roll into the business updates, and then at the very end, we'll talk about what is on the near-term roadmap. So, jumping into the product updates, the first and most exciting thing that Jay and team has actually developed is a thing that we're calling Parallel Reduce. Now, it probably doesn't mean much to you because, why would parallel reduce mean anything? But what it really means is that you can now do participant classes inside of Reach. This is used when, instead of saying you have Alice and Bob, you will have Alice and Bob's, or multiple. Like a better example is if you have, say, an auction, and you don't really know how many bidders there will be. You just know that there will be more than one. You can actually create a bidders participant class, and Parallel Reduce allows that. There's some extra functionality that's built into Parallel Reduce, but you can dig into the documentation and find things out, like racing and forking and all these other great things that you can do with the Reach. The next really big update is we are progressing really well on the AMM, the decks. Chris Nevers and now Matt Audess is working hard building that, so you can actually watch that develop in plain sight, because we try not to hide anything here at Reach. You can just watch them at their GitHub. The code itself, the syntax is mostly done. So when we're building new features, the first thing what we do is we write the application like it will be the syntax of it. And then we go and then we build out the compiler so that it will compile. So you can see how short the Uniswap clone is. I believe it's only around 250 lines compared to over 1,200 lines that the current Uniswap smart contracts are, and that's ignoring the interface side or the middleware. So I'm very excited how that's shaping up, and you can see how powerful Reach can be just by looking at what the syntax is. We've taken the VS Code and the extension under our own umbrella now, and with that we have improved it quite a bit, and we're going to continue making it better and better. And already you can pretty much run and do everything that you need directly in VS Code. So we're really excited about that, making it so that your tools itself make it easier to develop. We also have an Atom extension, so if your IDE of choice is Atom, you can use the Reach extension for that to make it easier. Another great thing that has happened is that we have now added more potential interface languages. So before you had to write a JavaScript interface to communicate with the JavaScript client side that we output through the compile process. But now we can do Go, Python, and Rust. So that's if you want to do more than just JavaScript developments, connect to Reach with that, you can do it with those three languages. So those are the major big updates for the product. There have been actually a lot of optimizations done this month that has really set the code base up to be cleaner and more efficient for the next month's big pushes, but I'll talk about what those are going to be a little bit later. Next thing is the business updates, and a little story back a long time ago now. I was watching a Twisted Sister concert, and Dee Snider came out and he sang every single one of his hits. Now that I talk about this, I feel like I'm getting pretty old, dating myself a bit. But and as soon as he was done with his last hit, he said, "All right, all you old people can leave now because you're here. You got what you came for." And so because of that mentality, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the big exciting news, which probably what a lot of you are here for, is the announcement of the bounty hack. I've referred to it as a hackathon or what have you, but it's really kind of a bounty hack. The idea is that we're going to provide a list of 20 applications that can be built and launched on Algorand through Reach. Now, the idea is that we're going to accept 20 people. So the 20 people to actually sign up will be the people accepted in this first iteration of the bounty hack. We're going to provide help and guidance for them to build these example applications, and it'll happen over a 5-week period. The first week is purely all about preparation. It's letting people get used to understanding reach, going through the documentation, think about the types of the applications that they want to actually build. Take a look at the list. If you think of an application that might not be on that list, but you still want to participate in, that is when you'll be able to submit your application for approval. And if it's approved, you can use that. But at the end of the first week, so the start of the second week, everybody that's still in it will be randomized, and there will be a draft. So everybody will then be able to pick a application off the list, and then they will have 3 weeks to develop it. Of course, with our help and our guidance. But the great part about it is that all you have to do is finish the task, and you'll get $1,000. And this is not it's not like the top 3 people or any type of hackathon, but it's all you have to do is finish the application and launch it on Algorand, and you will get $1,000 for it. And the best part about it is that these applications really aren't a lot of work. We kind of estimated that it would take you probably 2 to 3 days of work to really kind of to whip these out. But like I said, we're giving you 3 weeks. And at the end of that 3 weeks, there will be a demo day. So you can present what you built to the other contestants or the other people that are actually participating. And then we'll have a vote. Everybody that participated will then say who did the best. You can't vote for yourself, so who other than yourself did the best. And the first, second, and third place will win an additional $5,000, $2,500, and $1,000. So that's like extra incentive. And then this is an optional thing. If you create a piece of content based on the work that you did, you can get up to an additional $1,000. So like if you build a workshop on it or a tutorial or even just an interview or something, you have the ability to actually make more money. So the idea of this is that we want to give you the incentive to be able to focus on the Algorand platform, what that brings, and then of course learning reach to help build more example applications and creating content for the next developers. And the idea is that we'll keep doing this either every month or every other month. I'm not sure exactly how often that we'll do this. And we'll get more and more content to help to grow the community. So we're really excited about that. The next really big announcement, as you probably saw in we tweeted about, and kind of what's made this possible for us is that we have been selected as the first scout of the Algo Scout Fund. What that is that some of the early investors in Algorand got together and decided that they want to do their part and help grow the Algorand ecosystem. So they pooled money together, reached out to me because we have a close relationship to the Algorand community, and says, "Hey, Chris, do you think you could help us decide who should actually get grants?" And the first thing that we thought about was to do this bounty hack to help people build things and get a good idea on what they can do. But this is actually going to expand more than that, because our plan is to actually give out $10,000 and $25,000 grants to people to build their own ideas, or maybe even take one of these example applications that they build in the bounty hack and really kind of make it a business out of it. So that's one of the real cool things. And then the other thing is that if you don't want to build something and you want to actually build some educational material, we can talk about providing a grant for that as well. So really excited about that opportunity, and very appreciative of USV, Borderless Capital, and also Pillar for that fund. So it's really excited. All right, what else do we have here? On top of that, we've really kind of doubled down with our relationship with Algorand. So we've been working really closely with the DevRel team. I believe actually 2 of the DevRel teams are members of the DevRel team are here. They've been digging down deep into the Reach code, and they will be putting out content themselves to really to put more Reach content on their developer portal. And we're super appreciative of the the Algorand team to help us grow our community as well. Thanks, Russ. We have hired 2 new team members. First, Matt Audess, we brought him in as a developer to help with building the AMM, the DEX. And then we also, you heard him talking a little bit earlier there, Michael Pirovano. He's been helping me with the marketing, kind of helping us find our voice. You'll start seeing us tweet more, be more active in the communities, and make sure that we're not slacking there. So I'm really excited to have them both on. To go with the new parallel reduce functionality, we've came out with 2 new workshops. Now, those workshops are modeled after the original. If you remember back in 2018, the FOMO 3D was a pretty big social experiment, if you will, and we thought that would be a great example to show off parallel reduce. The cool thing is that, so Chris Nevers, who is also on this call today, he was the one to write it. And he was one of our newest employees, and he was able to actually learn Reach and write FOMO 3D as his first application with all doing is just reading some articles online of what to actually build. In the end, I forget how many lines of code it is, but only around, I think, 80 or maybe even less. I'm not sure exactly. But very impressive how fast he was able to pick up and build a pretty complex application. And what that does is it makes us feel that we as a team have been doing what we've been pledging to do, making blockchain development more accessible to the traditional developer. Because before Chris Nevers joined, he's never even really thought about blockchain. So, going from 0 to being able to build a FOMO 3D as his first application was really exciting. And not only do we have the FOMO 3D, but he went and he generalized FOMO 3D to give it a little bit more functionality. We've been growing like crazy still keeping to the 10 to 20% every single week. This last week, this week itself has been nuts. I think we've grown more than 10 in the last 2 days. And we're growing. We're, I think, 230 developers that have built applications on our platform, not just part of the community, but have fired up the compiler and written an application. One of the, I think, reasons why we're actually growing so fast is because of the Turkish community. You probably see here that there is a whole channel devoted to our Turkish community. It's been growing very much, and that's mostly because of 2 specific members, Bugra and Enos. They've been doing great things. They've created a full Udemy course. They're publishing a book on how to develop with Reach on top of Algorand, and they're only building more and more things. So I'm really excited how fast we're growing in Turkey. The entire team has been participating in Gitcoin kernel. It's a accelerator put on by Gitcoin. It's been actually a great experience so far. It's very much more about us embedding in the existing Ethereum community, finding out what they need and what they are really excited about. And what we've learned from that is that they care mostly about the security aspects, the safety aspects of Reach, and being able to embed assertions directly in the code so that they don't have to go to runtime verification and have a spec generated and then have always modify that spec every time they actually modify the code. With Reach, they can write their application and then just put the assertions directly in the code and have that formal verification proof that their code is correct. And that's been really great things to learn there. We've started. We didn't really start. So we continued the new website design, working with Baska Design over in Ukraine. You probably have seen the new logo, which I'm really excited about. And at the same time, in parallel, we've been working on the new website and because the website that we have right now was the original website that we launched. I'm pretty sure on day 1, so almost September of 2019. So it's definitely due for a new website, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like. And of course, with new branding comes swag. A lot of you have asked me, hey, can I get a t-shirt or a sticker or one of these things? And I keep saying, hold up. Well, let's wait until we get the new branding. Well, it's here. And so we're We're going to be creating those stickers, creating those T-shirts. So if you want them, please let us know. We'll love to actually send them to you. And to kind of like a sneak peek of how awesome it is, here's a super special swag that not everybody will be able to get because we didn't have that of them. But check this out. So we have a Yeti mug with the new Reach logo on it, which is pretty awesome. So this is for the super special community members that are pouring their hearts into helping us grow and just show how appreciative we are of them. And if you want to be more than a community member, we actually have 2 job openings right now. We have a instructional designer or a curriculum developer that's going to be helping us attack universities and boot camps with legit boot camp development curriculum. So if you know anybody that has those skill sets, please send them over to us. We'd love to talk to them and hire them. And then also we're looking for a developer relations engineer. So somebody that's ideally has a following already, has spent a lot of time talking to developers, creating content, and they don't necessarily need to be blockchain, but somebody that knows and has proven that they've been able to create a community before, because what we want to do is their job will be purely building practical applications and then writing workshops around them. Because the one thing that we did learn is that developers need, like when they pick up a new tool, it's because they're trying to solve a problem. And what we want to do is we want to develop content that solves problems, that are solutions. So that's, I think, would be a really fun position. So if you know anybody that would be a good fit there, please make the introduction. So I believe that is it. Oh, actually, there's one more thing, and it's definitely a very exciting thing. We have a new partnership. To go with the actual push in education and also in just developer outreach, we're making a big push into China. And to make that easier for us, we decided to partner with Conflux, which is a protocol that is based mostly in China. They spend a lot of time in developing a community over there. And they've agreed to actually partner with us and put their marketing teams on pushing us out into those markets. So that just started, and it's been a couple weeks now that we're in the planning phases of how we're going to attack that. And one of the reasons why I've been staying up late is because meeting with the China teams over there. But really, really excited to see where that takes us. So that is all of the updates. I'm sure I probably forgot something, but next month, what really you can look forward to is, number one, more information to come from the Conflux team. The kickoff of the hackathon, or the bounty hack, and also as far as products go, we're going to start work on the feature that Jay's here. Hear me talk about it quite a bit. The linear state or containers. Once again, that's our inside code name for it. But what it is that it's the functionality that allows for the state, the storage of the smart contracts themselves to grow with the number of users or potentially the number of transactions. And what that does is it opens up the doors to us being able to finish the AMM, the DEX, but it'll also allow for DAOs, NFTs, and many of these great applications that people can make. And then, of course, because of the new features that are coming out, we'll have even more progress on the DEX. So I believe that is all the questions or all the updates, and I will go ahead and jump over to the Q&A. So thank you all for sitting through the first live one take, even if I mess up, update. And we'll go ahead and I'll check out some of the questions here. Can you all see this? Yes, Michael, I saw that. Wow, hackathon sounds awesome. And all right, no questions. That was easy. Well,
Hi, Michael Pirvano here, CNN. Can you confirm that you are dating Scarlett Johansson?
I appreciate it. Those rumors are false. Thank you for that question. John does have a real question, though. Thank you, Michael. What does AMM stand for? It stands for Automatic Market Maker, right? I think. I always get that not exactly right, but another way to think of it is Uniswap, Balancer. A lot of the DEXs that are fully a DEX is a decentralized exchange, and so exchanges that are fully built on a blockchain, because an order book is so expensive that would be so expensive to run. The way that they do matchmaking is through an algorithm rather than an order book. It's like Rich has a question, or maybe. Oh, here's another one. Yep. Can you give more info on the education portion of the Algo Scout grant program? Yeah, so because not everybody wants to just build an application, some people want to educate. So the idea is that we will provide grants to people that know what it takes to bring the good word of Algorand and reach to the masses, so that they would be creating workshops, tutorials, textbooks, really anything that's that they believe that they think that would be able to bring more developers to the Algorand ecosystem. What date will the hackathon start? So the plan is that as of after this call, Michael will post a link to the information so you can read it and make sure that I didn't say anything incorrect, so that you actually have a document that says everything. And the idea is that we would start the first week, which will just be planning, starting next week. So just in a few days. All right.
As soon as I hop off the call, I'll post it. I've got it in a Google Doc, so that way people can comment if they have questions and that kind of thing. But I'm also screen recording as a backup. So
awesome. The question, John had a question. Hackathon awards we paid in algos. Most likely, the hackathon awards we paid in USDC, which is a stable coin that is pegged to the US dollar. Russ has a question. Where can someone find out about the hack? Link. As soon as this is up, this is done. Michael's going to post it probably in the general channel, maybe in the announcement, probably so more people can see it. All right. Well, unless anybody else has any other questions, I will call this as a success. And like I said, I will jump over to the general channel, the general voice channel, and hi Jay. And if anybody else wants to chat and hang out, I'll be there, sort of like an after party. So thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully next month you'll be back, and even more people will be here. So until next time.